Good evening. Let me find my recipe. I'm going to make pizza dough this evening. I found this recipe on King Arthur Baking while we were in the height of the lockdown this summer, and it is a deep dish pizza dough recipe. The first time I made it, was stuck at home. We were working from home, and it gave me extra time to do some cooking that I don't normally do. And my boyfriend was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna make pizza dough." And he was like, "We have pizza." And I'm like, "But I'm gonna make pizza dough." And he insisted it was too much work, but it was so good that he now will normally make the pizza dough for me. But I'm gonna show you how I do it. So this is the recipe, and I pre-measured everything. So we're going to start with and he'll usually do this in the mixer, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it in the bowl. So it's 2 cups of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of yeast, a tablespoon of olive oil, and 3/4 of a cup of warm water. I'm just gonna mix that up. When the dough is ready, it goes in the refrigerator overnight, or it doesn't even have to be overnight, just for a couple hours. And then you take it out and you cook it in a cast iron pan. This is the pan that we use. It is a 10, a little bigger than a 10-inch cast iron skillet. The full, it calls for using the full recipe. We found that makes a really thick crust, so we like to use half of it, and it works out fine. So we have enough for 2 pizzas if we do half, and we'll cook half of it and save half of it for another night. And it keeps in the refrigerator. It says you can keep it for 3 days. We've kept it for like a week. So after you do that, you're going to just fold it this way and that way. And then I'm going to tell you, you're going to let it rest for 5 minutes. So I'm just going to talk about the rest of the recipe. And you can find this at kingarthurbaking.com. And the name of the recipe is Crispy Cheesy Pan Pizza. So if you go to kingarthurbaking.com and look for Crispy Cheesy Pan Pizza, that's where you can find this recipe. So it'll tell you to let this rest for 5 minutes, and then you're going to fold it 4 times again, and you're going to do that 4 times. And then once you're done with that, you're going to put it in a covered bowl and stick it in your refrigerator, and then you wait until you're ready to cook it. And like I said, we like to split this recipe in half and make 2 pizzas out of it. This is what it looks like in my bowl. And I can repeat those measurements for you in case you don't want to go to that website. It is 2 cups of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of yeast, 3/4 cup of water, a tablespoon of olive oil. When you go to cook it, you're going to put more olive oil in your pan, and then the directions for cooking are to take it out of the refrigerator a few hours before you're ready to cook it. Let it rise. Heat your pan. You're going to spread it out in the bottom of your pan. It's going to take a little bit of work to get it stretched out in there. Put your toppings on. Make sure you put cheese all the way around the edges, whatever toppings you like. And then you're going to bake. Let's see, what are the baking directions? 4 to 5 inches from the heating element at 450 degrees, 18 to 20 minutes, and you're going to have the most delicious pizza. I hope you give it a try.